to all of my beautiful crown heads. Thank you guys so much for being in attendance today on no notice. Um, I feel like this is a very much so needed conversation that needs to be had, especially amongst women and more specifically Black women, as far as this whole pick me issue is concerned. All right. You guys, please take this time out to like the video, share the video, subscribe, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way, you guys are notified when we go live in the future, because sometimes we do go live randomly, like we are doing right now today. All right. Now, it's a lot of women out there that have been using this whole pick me term very loosely. 140 of us in the building, 142. We should have at least 100 likes, y'all. Help a sister out, okay? They have been using this whole pick me term very loosely, and I've come to realize that it is being used towards women such as me and my special guest, Miss Queen, Goddess, Sister Nun, when they are trying to bring balance and harmony between men and women. When women start holding women accountable, they are automatically deemed to be pick-me's. And I don't think that that's fair. I feel like that's a cop-out. And a lot of those women that possess that whole, well, she's just a pick-me mindset, those women, they don't even have a man. So who in the fuck picked you? Okay, if you want to call us a pick me, then you are a pick not, because nobody is picking you. Okay, and maybe it's because you need to be a pick me. Maybe you do need to get in alignment and balance with a man and respect a man and be submissive to your man and allow a man to lead. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe that's why you are a pick not. So I wanted to invite on my special friend, Miss Sister Nun, to have this very important conversation with us, because I feel that there are not a lot of women, more specifically Black women, that are like-minded, that show a united front as far as, hey fellas, hey Black men, hey Black kings, hey gods. There are women that are out here that are willing and ready to back you and support you. Not all of us are these pick nots. There's some pick me's out there, quote unquote, that are willing and ready to go to bat for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get in on this conversation, Miss Sister Nun. If you want to, you can go ahead and introduce yourself to the people who may not know of you.
All right. So peace, and love, y'all. It is your girl, Sister Nun, Third Eye Live TV Radio, Angels for Mental Health Broadcast Network. And if you haven't yet found out about who I am, then you can definitely follow me on Facebook at Sister Nun, because my friends list is too full right now. But I do have a second Facebook page, and it is under my actual name, which is Kiani McLean. My Instagram is sister_nun_reincarnated. And just a little bit about what me and my king do is actually, he is a published author of 2 books currently, which is Napganistan, as well as The Dummy Boy Saga, which is his debut novel. They're both urban fiction novels, so if you guys are interested in that, then you can definitely check us out either here via Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. His channel is Third Eye Live TV dash radio here on YouTube. But if you are also interested in purchasing one of his many albums, the Panther Party album, that basically is made for Black people, you know what I mean, with that Panther type of energy, then you can definitely hit him up on Facebook or Instagram as well under Siggy Potolo. So this is the flyer here for the YouTube channel. And if you guys would like to live stream or just even download the Panther Party album, it is streaming basically on all platforms. His other album that he has that is not currently released is the Light the Way album. That one is only available as the digital version. But like again, you can definitely hit him up either via Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube for your copy of that particular digital album version. Or if you would just like a sneak peek into the songs that are on that particular Light the Way album, then you can definitely check the videos out here on YouTube and on Third Eye Live TV Radio. Um, but as for me, I also do some tarot readings. I do them live for my clients. Sometimes I might go live on Facebook and do maybe one or two types of general readings and things of that nature. But for the most part, my readings are private. Danica has got about like maybe two or three types of readings from me before, so she can definitely vouch for, my works when it comes to the personal readings and just how authentic, spirit delivers those messages to, the perceiver, meaning the client of, those particular readings. But yeah, without further ado, I'm definitely ready to just get into this topic. I just think it's very important that we continuously hone in on the roles that women play out here in this world as it relates to either the disrespect to our men or just men in general, or the lack thereof when it comes to themselves. So a lot of the times what they don't know is that it has a lot to do with the specific forms of programmings that are put in place, or these infrastructures here or institutions that have been built to keep, let's just say, men and women back to back, or the black man and black women, black man and black woman back to back, meaning turning away from each other. So I'm ready to pass the mic and allow you to go ahead and dive a little deeper into this topic, beloved.
All right. Shout out to us. We have 288 of us in the building. Y'all, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to you, Man Friday, for your donation. I appreciate you so much for always showing so much love and support. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into this conversation. But first, I want to point out the fact that the queen, she took the time out to promote her man. Can we get a round of applause for that? That was the first thing that she did. The first thing that her pick-me ass did was promote her man. She promoted her man before she promoted herself. Mm-hmm. Y'all see that? Pick notes, take notes. Anyway.
Oh, and actually, before you continue, Goddess, let me just show, not only your platform, but the ones who are coming from my platform as well, who are joining this live. I also do have Danica's book as well. Like, I actually read it, you know what I mean? It's about 77 pages. And I just feel like, it has a lot to do with not only the topic in which we will be discussing today, but, it just shows you not only from both sides, but I just feel like it came more or less from a woman's perspective as it relates to why you need to be submissive to your man. And I know that in the Black community, Black women, they have a serious issue with doing that, and it's not all the way, their fault, meaning on both sides, but it's just about accountability. Do you want to stop playing this form of blame game and shit like that, for battling of traumas, or do you want to actually grow, with your man? So I just want to tell y'all that this book, if you are a divine goddess or a woman who needs some form of guidance or assistance or pointing in the right direction as to why you need to release some of the reins of your forms of control, you know what I mean? Then Danica's Submission is Not the Enemy book is for you. Like, you really want to get that, book in your hands.
I appreciate that. Shout out to you, Tavis, for your donation, my royal empresses. We appreciate it. But yes, and that in and of itself is beautiful. 341 of us in the building. We should have 300 likes, y'all. Help us out. That in and of itself is beautiful. Not a lot of Black women are out here supporting other Black women. I didn't tell the Queen Sister Nun to go buy my book. I didn't tell her to promote my book. She did that organically on her own. And so I think it's important for us to not only have these kind of conversations where we are showing improving as a community, as a sisterhood, that we can support each other, and we do support each other, but that also we can be together within the same areas, within the same ciphers, and build and actually build together. It's not a lot of building. It's a lot of competing. And this is why this conversation is so important, because a lot of these pick-me people are not trying to compete. We're not trying to tear down our men and tear down each other. You know, and I don't like that we get a bad rap as far as not going back to back to each other, to where we're separated, as the queen just, you know, touched on in the beginning, but we're actually trying to bridge those gaps and come back together. Why does that somehow make us weak? Why is being submissive to your man somehow a means of weakness? We have roles out here. Me and the queen sister Nun, the goddess sister Nun, we understand our roles and our positions. Do you?
Shay.
Pick not. Pick not. Do you understand your position as a woman? I guess not. Because if you did, there wouldn't be a term such as a pick me. But I digress. I really wanted to do this show to reverse the tables on you pick nots. And I want to take the power and take pride in being a pick me, a proud pick me. I'm going to put it on a fucking t-shirt. My name is Danica Marie, and I'm a proud pick me. AKA, I support men. I love men. I respect men. Even men that are not my husband, I respect. And that's what the fuck we need to do as a community. I don't see that out here. It's a lot of divisive bullshit, if I will. And like I said, we need to show that there are a lot of, you know, I'm not going to say a lot, but with us, me and Sister Nun even coming on together and showing that, hey, we are out here, I think it will inspire other women, other Black women more specifically, to come through and say, you know what? That ain't so bad. It's not so bad being in alliance with your man instead of being destructive and being divisive, being in competition. But Sister Nun, I want to ask you, why do you feel like pick-me's are viewed as somehow weak or something that is bad, especially within the Black community? Why do you feel like women feel that being submissive, being a woman that is respectful to a man, that listens to a man, why do you feel that a lot of women have that bad kind of perception of women, such as ourselves, that would be in promotion of such behavior?
Okay, so let me just start out by saying you did a great intro, and you know, thus far you've had some deep insight, you know, as far as it relates to, you know, the psychology of, you know, women, and you know, why we need to hone in on you know, just the way we even treat men, you know what I mean? So let me just say that a lot of the times, the reason why Black women specifically have a hard time being or becoming submissive to their men or our men, or even just men in general, is not only because of how they were taught, you know, from growing up in a particular household, or even in a dysfunctional way of a household of living, but it also comes from the external world as well. You know, so what I mean by that is any way that a woman is developed, or even man for that particular matter, but we're not talking about men right now. I have to stay on women because I am a woman. So
right.
the way that a woman is developed, it first starts or initially starts in the home. So when you have a single mother as a parent raising children, raising a son and a daughter, right? And as the single mother is going about life, depending on the choices that she makes, you know, her children are viewing this. Her children are viewing her behavior and the way she speaks to them, and, you know, just even the way she speaks to men, you know what I mean? Depending on how many of them are, you know, running in and out of her life, that she continues to show to her children, you know? So children are not going to do what you tell them to do. They're going to do what they see you do. They're going to do what you show them that you're doing. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the development of their psychological state or their mental health, when you're raising a young daughter, a young goddess, a young queen, a young empress, she is not meant to be raised in a mental box of, you don't need to respect this man, or your father ain't shit, and, you know, all these men ain't shit, and, you know, all these different types of toxic behavioral conditionings that, you know, we are taught to continue that form of cycle for any men when we grow up.
Mm-hmm.
So the development of young women, right? We have to first realize that you cannot have a well-balanced family structure without the man present. It's going to already be unbalanced, because that child, those children, they need a father figure, as you were saying in, you know, your previous live show that you did about 2 days ago. They need their father to be present. Now, it's not to say that they don't necessarily need the biological father if he, you know, depending on how that relationship dynamic went, you know, that particular man doesn't necessarily have to be there. If another man, you know, with a newer mindset, is still that father figure type of energy, and they're willing to be with you to assist you with finishing up raising these children that you had by another man, you know. But what Black women need to understand, or understand really, is when you are raising a daughter, you don't want to teach her that she will never need a man, because what you're doing is actually reversing science. You're actually reversing her psychological mental health for growing into this healthy woman who is going to want to eventually procreate, who's going to want to eventually have her own children. You know
Right.
what I mean? If certain other external structures or programs, right, that are out here, or corporations, don't basically get to her first, meaning her psychosis, and try to transform her into a homosexual. You know what I mean? Therefore, she won't be able to then procreate. And I'm not saying this to bash anyone who is, you know, homosexual in the regards of whatever it is that your preference is. You know what I mean? Live your best life, do whatever it is that you want to do. But at the end of the day, when it comes to nature, right, the nature, the netru, we want to be sure that if you are an example of life, an example of creation, creator, you want to be sure that you recreate yourself in the form of a child that came from you. Why? So that you can actually, when you do become an ancestor and you transition, you're now living through the solar energies of your children, meaning you're always going to be here. You're always going to be internal.
Right. And what do you need to do that? You need a man. And
Absolutely.
see, like Phineas just said, a lot of women, okay, they would rather be a pick me for a fuck boy. And I don't get that.
Yeah.
Like when we're dealing with men that are fair and balanced, and again, thank you, Phineas, for your donation. And I saw another one too. Thank you, Antonio, for your donation as well. It's like when it comes to women that are trying to be fair and balanced as it pertains to a gentleman, a nice guy, a stand-up man, you know, a man that is trying to provide and protect and be fair and balanced. However, he may call you out, he may hold you accountable, but you're going to write him off. But then you're going to be the first one to go and try to build with. I'm sorry, not even build with. You're trying to build up a fuckboy. You don't mind being submissive to him. You don't mind being a pick-me for him. And I feel like that is another part of the conversation that needs to be had as well. It's like we need to learn, like Sister Nun just said, how to choose better men so that we can build, because we have children coming up behind us. We have daughters coming up behind us looking at us. And if we're teaching and instilling into these young women, especially in the Black community, that, hey, that's a pick-me. If you respect a man, if you submit to a man, that's some pick-me shit. We don't do that. She's not going to know how to grow up and build solid, healthy relationships with these men, because in her mind, that's bad. That's some pick-me shit. That's bad shit. I'm here to reverse that. Being a pick-me is good. That's good.
I say.
I'm not saying to be a doormat for a man, and I feel like maybe that is where you guys are getting this whole pick-me terminology, you know. But me, y'all hear my content. Y'all hear the things that I speak on. Where in the fuck do you get a pick-me from what I'm saying in a balanced and fair discussion? Now, if y'all want to say that a woman that is bending over backwards for a no good ass nigga, for a no good ass dude, doing whatever he wants her to do without any reciprocation, then yeah, I can say, yeah, that's a pick-me. But I'm not finding that. I'm finding that women that speak like me and Sister Nun, that have a balanced perspective, we are being defined as pick-me. When we're trying to hold ourselves accountable and build and grow, and at the same time get behind our men, we are being defined as pick-me's. I don't get that. I don't understand that. So if you guys are going to try to twist the narrative to where it's like a woman such as me and Sister Nun are talking about building with men and respecting men and being submissive to men and loving men and honoring them while at the same time holding ourselves accountable, okay? You want to call us pick-me, then okay, cool. I'll wear it like a fucking badge of honor. But what I don't want to be is like you. And a lot of you pick-nots are the ones that are lonely and desperate. See, y'all like to say that pick-me's are lonely and desperate. No, we're not. Me and Sister Nun have our husbands. We have our gods.
Okay.
Y'all the ones that have not been picked. So maybe being a pick-me is not so bad. Because yes, my husband did pick me. Mm-hmm. Who picked you, sis? And on that, I'm gonna sip my water. Let me give some shout outs. We have 508 of us in the building. We should have at least 435 likes, y'all. Help a sister out. All right. Let me give some shout outs. Thank you, Jessica X, for your donation. She says, great discussion. I want to have the Queen Jessica X come on our show. Possibly on Thursday, and we're going to discuss some topics as well. It may be the whole pick-me topic. We may have a whole pick-me panel on this motherfucker. You never know. But thank you, Queen, for your donation. Thank you again, Man Friday, for your donation. She says, when I see you, think there is hope for the future. I salute you for trying to repair the damage that these pick-nots, feminists, and swirling divested females have done. Yes, and that needs to be touched on as well. And I don't like to make it to where it is a race type of conversation, but we can throw that into the mix as well. It's a lot of Black women that are shaming Black men and making it seem as if Black men are the devil, and these other races of men are the ones that we should be trying to choose. We should be trying to get picked by them outside of who we are, when we are a reflection of the Black man as Black women. And we come from them. So if we are disrespectful to them and we don't want to be with them, what does that say about how we feel about ourselves? But we're gonna save that. Let me get through these donations. Thanks again, Phineas, for your other donation. He says, I have never understood that all these pro-black movements are run by lesbians. How can you be pro-race but promote a lifestyle that does not promote procreation? Men for this happening as well. See, y'all making the conversation a little deep. YouTube
Right.
already gonna hate on us. Okay, but we can take it there. And again, like Sister Nun said, we have nothing against you living your life. Live your best life, however you see fit. But we have to also take into account there is an agenda. They do want us to be against each other. They do want us to turn our backs on each other. They do want us to stop procreating and reproducing ourselves. I mean, and so it all ties into this conversation of us not being in alliance with our men. They want us to go against the grain and turn our backs on each other. Thank you, Raheem, for your donation. He says, peace, peace. Thank you so much. All right. 555 of us. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, you guys. Help us out. I'm going to go ahead and let you take the reins back, Sister Nun.
Okay, so one of the what I feel like was most important points that you had hit on is about how to reverse, either the negative, what they call it, like connotation or connotation that they have on the word as it relates to the pick me type of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ways that, you would be able, or just even the sisterhood in general, would be able to reverse that negative viewpoint on women who are already chosen, let's just say, right, is polygyny. It's polygyny. And I'm going to go into that just a little bit, just to kind of give y'all a little bit of my perspective on why it would make more sense that way. And therefore, the ones who feel like they are the pick-me-nots, or telling, these young Black women who are growing up to never depend on a man, or never, just want a man and things of that nature, why that particular way of thinking is polygyny is the answer for that. So a lot of people get those terminologies when it comes to anything poly miscommunicated or misconstrued, simply because polygamy is the umbrella of everything else poly that falls under it. So let me just say this before I actually go into how deep this particular lifestyle can go. Polygamy was created by Black women. Polygamy was created by Black women. And the reason why I have to make sure that y'all understand that part is because now I'm coming from a deeper spiritual angle, so that y'all can see why in monogamous relationships they never work. There's always some form of power struggle that's going on between the man and the woman, feeling like they have to battle each other for this head of household position, and this is what comes from the women not knowing their submissive role as being that sacred whisperer to the man. Meaning, if you want him to properly do your will, or do that of whatever it is you want to be done, you have to come at him in a graceful manner, in a submissive manner, so that way he is more receptive to whatever it is that you want to be done. But now, if you are in a monogamous relationship and you're the woman trying to be the man with all of this masculine energy that you have been taught to present or represent, and then on top of that have external outside factors like, other men and other women even advocating for overtly sexual behaviors and things of that nature, meaning exploiting yourself to a degree where you have no forms of respect for yourself. This is why in a monogamous relationship you would have that form of power struggle with the man. because you're being taught, just like the man is being taught in certain regards, how to disrespect women, right? And things of that nature. But we're not talking about men right now. We're talking about women. So Black women, to be more specific, you are taught, or you are being taught, to completely disregard your femininity. You know what I mean? You're being taught to completely not even live in a harmonious, graceful manner. You're even being taught to battle the man, so much so to the point where he's willing to leave your ass. You know what I mean? And let's not even throw in children if they're there. Like, of course he's not going to be with you, sis, because you're trying to overpower his fucking domain, like his energy of what he is supposed to be doing as that protective energy. Now, I'm not saying that women or mothers don't already have that form of protective energy within them. I'm not saying that that is not a possibility. What I'm saying, though, is there is a certain level of not only accountability, but alertness and awareness that you have to reach in order to see and view yourself as, damn it, wait a minute, let me take at least 2 steps back, because why am I going so hard? Why am I fighting fire with the very man that I'm claiming that I love, with the very man that I'm claiming that I wanted these children by, and things of that nature? You know what I mean? So
Right.
as a woman, um, you created polygamy. Polygamy is just the umbrella of where I'm particularly going, which is polygyny, which is defined by multiple wives with one god or one king, however you guys choose to label that particular part of, you know, your royalty. Um, but nonetheless, how to reverse that pick me not type of, you know, feeling, or just, you know, just thought process, is through polygyny. And I'm going to tell y'all why it mathematically and spiritually, scientifically, you know, like humanely makes sense. And it's not just a lot of people, or I should say a lot of women rather, they think that it's only to satisfy the man. You know what I mean? And it's really just not. Like, of course, you're going to have, you know, that sexual conversation where we are all, you know, like the sister wives are now sitting around having this conversation as it relates to the time in which each of us will get to spend with, you know, our God or our husband, etc., you know, and things of that nature. Like, those conversations are going to come. However, that is not the true basis or the foundation of polygyny. Polygyny is mainly directed to the sisterhood. It's mainly directed to the sisters needing to literally establish a connection so strong to the point where they know now that we outnumber our men. They're locking them the fuck up. You know what I mean? They're trying everything in their power to lay them all down, so that they are not here anymore, so that we are lonely and susceptible to every other nationality of men out here, you know? And these are the things that we have to think about, because it's like, why would these other nationalities of men want us to be their women so bad, to a certain degree? You know what I mean? Like, they want the royalness that we have within, without dealing with the other shit that we come with, like our loudness, like our attitudes, like, you know, all the talking back and power struggles and all that shit. So it's almost like they're trying to build a bear or build a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they want to do, you know, with the Black woman anyway. And this is why in polygyny, the sisterhood has to be the very thing that is more important to the women who are involved, because we will have to be in the mindset of, damn, we know we outnumber our men. We know they're doing all of these things to keep us, you know, limited to, you know, even dating these types of even alpha males that we are seeking. You know, a lot of these women, they want, like I said in my video yesterday, they want this type of bad boy, right? Which would symbolize the alpha male energy. But they get upset when they are brought to the truth of realization that you're not the only one, and you never will be dealing with an alpha male. It's just not going to happen. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain men who will live in that monogamous, lifestyle, and they're happy with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Do your thing. I'm not trying to force you.
I said, that's me.
I feel you. You know what I mean? And I'm not here.
I respect it.
Yeah. And I'm not here trying to force men who are happily married in their monogamous relationships to, um, you know, jump outside of that box if you're already happy. But what I am here to do is kind of push your mentality to at least view yourself outside of that box that, society has created for you. If you just study the way you are genetically created, designed, it's no wonder why you always are attracted to multiple women. It's no different than a man can have sex with his wife, you know what I mean? And then see another woman when he goes outside and get hard again. You know what I mean? Like, this is the science here. I don't make this shit up. I'm just here to expand your mentalities and your perspectives, regardless if you're happy in whatever lifestyle relationship it is that you live or not, but nonetheless, when it comes to polygyny, right? It's not focused, the focal point is not more so on the man. He becomes the focal point when we are, what I personally feel like is, the spiritual war here now in the 3D realm manifests. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, it's fucking anarchy. Everybody is everything for themselves, everyone for themselves and things of that nature. Now, I bet you all the sister wives who knew that they were sister wives, and the ones who didn't, but they try to act like they didn't know, and all this type of shit. I bet you in that particular 3D time of war, you're going to want to have that family concept or that village concept of, fuck that, we protecting our God. You know what I mean? Like, this is the last of the dying breed, if you will, or the last of this particular strand of DNA that we got to keep alive. So therefore, by default of that form of war, you're going to have to build a stronger foundation with these other women or these other sister wives that are around in order to protect that particular man's DNA until y'all are at a stage where y'all can then procreate or decide whom is going to carry his seed next, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
And see, with that conversation, even in and of itself, like you said, we are women that have a lot of commonalities, but we come from different backgrounds. Like me, I'm in a monogamous, relationship. It's me and my husband. And let him tell it I'm enough. He's like, girl, I can barely deal with your ass. So, but I can respect and see how that conversation in and of itself can tie back into this whole pick-me situation. Like you said, women, more specifically Black women, we were the founding mothers of what we're talking about. And that goes and ties back into what we're doing ultimately right now, as far as us being able to build and collaborate together as women. Not tearing each other down, saying, oh, well, you all about building with a man and doing all this shit. You would pick me. No, they were like, look, we understand that we need each other as a sisterhood, and we need our man to build upon what we're trying to build collectively. Absolutely. So I can appreciate and respect that. That ties back into what we're talking about, in a sense, because a lot of women, we are so gung-ho on being divisive, even within ourselves, amongst ourselves. We don't want to build with other women, let alone with a man. Right. We want to get, and what's crazy is we want to get with like-minded women that are divisive. Versus getting with like-minded women that are about unity and unifying our men, unifying with our men and our sisters. Absolutely. Because even though I'm not with, was it polygyny and all of that, I can respect it. I can see how it could work. I'm not going to tear you down and say, oh, you would pick me, bitch. Because what kind of bitch would want to share her man? That's some pick me shit. Y'all trying to cater to this nigga? What about you? Can you go and get you a nigga? And see, no. It's about us building together. We understand that, hey, at the end of the day, we need our men. We're going to respect our men. We're going to build together to build each other up as a community. And I can respect it about your lifestyle. We got 684 of us in the building. Y'all like, share, comment, and subscribe, you guys. We should have at least 600 likes. Help us out. Help us out. Moderators, y'all put it down in the comments. Like the video. Share the video. Subscribe. And most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way you guys are notified when we go live in the future. You know, and like I said, this conversation, it can run deep because we do live in a society where there are fuck boys. Don't get it twisted. I understand, ladies. I understand why you possess the mindset that you have. And that's why we had a lot of donations. Thank you guys so much. I tried to put you guys on the screen if I could. I didn't want to interrupt the queen while she was talking. Thank you, Swagger, for becoming a channel member. I appreciate that. Do what Phoenix said. You guys get those likes up. But, you know, I understand, ladies, why we possess the mindset that we have. It's a lot of dysfunction out here with men that are doing us wrong, that are, you know, using and abusing us. However, how can we build and grow if we're only going to focus on the men that are doing things wrong? Why are we not talking about the men that are doing things right and getting behind that? And why is it that when sisters like me and Sister Nun start getting behind men that are doing things right, we're attacked and we're called pick-me's? And, you know, you guys want to shift the conversation to the fuck boys. That's counterproductive. Mm-hmm. How about if we shed a light on the men that are doing things right and we say, hey, we need to get behind them. We need to build with them. We need to love them. We need to be, you know, respecting them and catering to them and being submissive to them. That is the way for us to get those quote unquote fuck boys in alignment. If they see women, more specifically Black queens, such as ourselves, building up these men, these kings, these gods, these emperors that are doing what they're supposed to do as men, they'll want to fall in line. They'll be like, well, damn, they getting all the respect. They getting all the quote unquote bad bitches. Let me get like them. You know what I mean? But as long as we're going to keep shedding light on fuckboys and tearing men down, you guys are making the men that are gods, that are kings, that are worthy, you're making them feel some type of way about themselves. It's like, well, damn, it's damned if I do, damned if I don't. I'm respectful, and I can't even get a woman to listen to me because she's too busy comparing me to fuckboys. That's not fair to me and what I'm doing and my contribution to society. So women, we need to be pick-me's. You need to be a pick-me and get behind these strong, masculine, provider, protecting men. Big them up.
I say.
Big them up. They need that recognition. But we're so busy shedding light on fuckboys to the point where it drowns them out, and that's not fair. And then the deeper conversation, Sister Nun, is why are we choosing to be with fuckboys in the first place? See, if we would choose better men, maybe we wouldn't have such a big deal and make a big deal about being a pick-me, because we would understand where that mind frame comes from. We would understand, well, damn, she's being supportive towards men and she's so behind men because, hey, she's with stand-up gods. She's with the kings. She's with the good men. So she can't understand my lifestyle of me tearing her down. She don't see where I'm coming from. Sip your water to that.
Right, like, ooh.
695 of us in the building. Let's go ahead and hit 700, you guys. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, please. This conversation is very needed and important. We should have at least 600 likes, please. At least 600. We 703. Y'all beautiful.
Wow.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe, you guys.
So let me just say this, if I may, though, right? So there's a particular goddess here, and you know, I'm tracking the comments or the chat right now, and if I may, just going back in on the polygyny angle. So she asks me a question, and she says, "How do you handle jealousy in polygamy. And then the next part of, I guess, whatever I was describing, in regards to that way of life, she says, nah, I can't ignore not being number one. So I just kind of want to answer that, if you don't mind. So in polygyny, I'm not going to say that, jealousy wasn't present, because it was. I'm not going to say that envy wasn't present, because it was. However, it's just about like literally research and knowing thyself, right? So what I learned is, was I, if I ever had a jealous moment, was I jealous because of a specific way I was taught to want to feel like I'm number one all of the time? Or was it because I felt like something was being taken from me? You know what I mean? If there was ever a moment in that time, in the beginning stages of me and my husband's polygynous lifestyle, that I have ever felt any forms of jealousy, envy, hatred, all of that shit, because it was there, I had to question myself. You always have to point the finger inward. Anytime you do this right here and point it outward, there are three more pointing back at you. So from my understanding of dealing with internal forms of jealousy or envy and hatred, what I did was figure out, number one, what was making me feel that way, because it's nothing outside of me. The only thing that external factors do is trigger things that are already being hidden, that you have suppressed within you. You know what I mean? So it's triggering you to acknowledge that something is not right here, or it's making you feel some type of way, so to speak. So number one, you have to figure out why you're feeling this way, or what's making you feel this way. Number two, after you do that form of analysis, figure out where that particular train of thought is even coming from. Because a lot of the times, depending on who it is that you're around, that energy is not even yours. That energy is not even yours. If you have never had a form of a inkling of a hatred piece of bone in your body, and now all of a sudden you get around a specific woman or sister wife that you're attempting to build with, now you got all this damn hellfire and hatred around. You're sitting there like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, this is not even my energy. Like, where is this coming from? So what I can say to that is, if you always feel like you're not number one in your world, then you're never going to be number one. That's number one. And number two, when it comes to, let's just say, sharing your husband or sharing your God or the king, who is actively trying to build that foundation with you of polygyny, y'all both have to be in a mindset of knowing that there's a shortage of that type of man that's around, and that it's not just about him. It's not about him. Like, there's a lot of healing and things like that we need to do as sisters first, before we can even allow the new potential sister wife or sister wives, or however you want to view that, come into play and think that they're going to now be introduced to the king. Like, no, bitch, you got some healing to do. Like, let's heal your entire universe. You know what I mean? Let's get your pH on balance and things of that nature, and figure out what forms of traumas it is that you need to release, so that you don't bring that into this dynamic of what's supposed to be a harmonious foundation of polygyny, stemming from a sisterhood connection.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And to tie it back in, to make it relevant, to me, that speaks to everything. A lot, even in regards to your situation with you and your husband, and you guys, trying to have this is it polygamous relationship?
Polygyny
Relationship. That can tie back into our relationship dynamics in general. A lot of us have not done the self-work. And so when we get into these relationships with other men, not get along with some other women, we are all kind of dysfunctional and discombobulated. You know, we want to compete. We are jealous. And a lot of us, that's why we are in competition with our men in these relationships. Because something within us is off. Like you said, bitch, you got to do some work.
Thanks.
But we're not trying to do that work. It's all about you stroking my ego, you coming down to my level instead of them rising up to the occasion. And like you said, doing that self-work. And you said something else about it speaking to a deeper issue within, even with this conversation, and again, to make it relevant, with the whole pick me conversation. Mm-hmm. Something within you is triggered, ma'am. Which is why you feel the need to point a finger and say, well, look at what these niggas doing. You pick me bitches. Y'all not focusing on what these niggas doing to us. You pick me's. And like you said, 3 more fingers. What's this doing, sis?
Exactly.
So what is it internally within you that is deciding to want to not only get with those type of men, but continuously get with those type of men and choose them type of men and focus on those types of men instead of doing that internal work? Again, everything is a reflection upon you, what's going on with you. So if you are running into these situations where you even feel the urge or the need to start trying to tear down other women for bigging up men and getting behind respectful men, like we said, we're talking about gods, kings, solid men that are trying to build and grow. What are we talking about? So for you to even try to get in front of that and say something is wrong with that, to say, nah, I ain't being submissive to no man. I ain't listening to no man. Trying to be, trying to conflict with that, be confrontational with that's something wrong with you. Like TJ Patterson said, it's no accountability. Mm-hmm. Accountability is gone. It's everybody else's fault. Something wrong with everybody else but you.
Right.
So like the queen said, like, hey, if you are running into those situations within your relationships where you feel the need to be jealous or you feel the urge to compete, there's something wrong with you. What is that insecurity?
Absolutely.
But yeah, deep, much needed conversation. And I appreciate the Queen Sister Nun for coming on and chopping it up with us. And again, I respect the fact that she was able to tie back in this conversation with her lifestyle. Her and her guy, they are trying to build relationships with other women so where they can have a community. I salute that. We need anything that's going to be healthy and productive. I feel like it's beautiful. It may not be for me. It may not be for you. But if it's productive and constructive, I love it. I'm down for it. I'm down for any union to where men and women are collaborating effectively in a healthy manner. Bringing balance back into the equation instead of being divisive. Saying, these niggas. Because to your point, as far as polygamy, is it polygamy?
It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but it's
polygamy or polygamy.
Polygyny.
Okay, as far as polygyny is concerned, what I love about it is it takes away that aspect of feeling the need to be in competition with other women. It's like, look, we understand it's a community. A lot of us women will start pointing out pick-me's and try to tear other women down because they do feel like it's a shortage of good men out here. So I gotta tear her down to big myself up, to make me stand out so that I can be chose. See, a lot of y'all want to be picked.
Facts.
You want to be pick-me's. Ain't nobody picking you though. So you gotta tear down the woman. So with the queen's lifestyle, it's like, hey, sis, we can all be chose.
Facts.
And that's what I can respect about it. But the whole jealousy, trying to tear women down, that's trying to build with a man, because really deep down inside you want a man and you jealous about the situation, you know, that's when the conversation goes left field for me. You know, so I feel like these conversations they're very much so needed, and they need to be had. Thank you, Counselor Moray. And I know we had a whole bunch of donations. I appreciate it, you guys. I tried to pull them up on the screen. I saw we had 715 of us in the building at one point. Thank you guys so much. We still got 647 of us in the building. That's beautiful. I didn't want to make this conversation too damn long-winded. I just felt like we needed to touch on it because we do need to show a united front as far as, you know, beautiful queens out here that's stepping up to the plate. Like, hey, it's a lot of dysfunction. It's a lot of divisive behavior out here as it pertains to men and women building. We need to have more of that balanced perspective from Black women, more specifically, to where, hey, we're showing and proving that we are not like that. And I'm sure it's a lot more queens out there that are just like us, but they're not saying anything because they're afraid of being referenced and called a pick me. Girl, put your pick me shirt on. Wear that motherfucker proud. Ain't nothing wrong with being behind your man or being beside your man and building with him.
Thanks.
Nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful. And we need more women out here like us, Sister Nun, that are poking our heads up and standing firm and strong. Because we ain't no weak bitches.
I say.
Ain't nothing weak about us.
It actually takes a lot more strength and confidence to bring in, to even be a supreme wife, in order to bring in more women. You know what I mean? If you're like the initial wife and you're sitting there like, yes, bring those sisters in, it actually takes a lot more strength to do that, as opposed to acting like you don't even see or even, you know that those other women are present. It's like you're doing the internal damage to yourself because you know that they're there. So why not just fucking, go, what they call it when they're skinny dipping, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, take the whole shit off and just let it be known, and it's not to say that a lot of people, like to be on Front Street when it comes to their relationships and things of that nature. But it's like, how else is anybody supposed to learn from even the mistakes that have been made along the way, or those obstacles, if you're not telling people your experience? How else are they supposed to learn from that if you don't show, not every single thing, but, the things that actually matter towards building, towards whatever cause or goal it is that y'all have as a couple? Y'all have to be able to express that, and of course you're going to get forms of hatred, forms of love, and every other form that you can think of, from just being on display in that manner. So I just wanted to say that, in order for you to learn from, your mistakes or even your accomplishments, you have to be willing to not only view self or, take your own forms of accountability, but you also have to be able to be susceptible or receive the forms of information that will allow you to grow and basically build up your strength and your confidence within yourself, in order to, if this lifestyle is for you, to be able to stand firm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and even to take it back to a monogamous relationship, like you said, it takes a lot of strength to have polygyny.
Yeah, you said it.
It takes a lot of strength for a woman to take on other women, but at the same time, to apply to a monogamous relationship such as myself, it takes a lot of strength to be submissive to your man.
Facts.
It's so much power in submission, and this is why you can get this damn book, y'all.
Absolutely.
Okay, it takes a lot of strength. It's power in submission.
Yeah.
You use it to your advantage. Your man needs you to be submissive, nurturing, caring, catering, loving towards him. And in return, he's going to reciprocate and pour back into you by being that provider, that protector, that nurturer, that teacher, that leader that you need. It's a balance. Absolutely. Always. And it's power in both of those things. It doesn't make you weak. And I feel like that is what we need to understand about this whole pick-me conversation. It doesn't make you weak for getting with your man and building and bigging him up. It's beautiful. It's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed. It doesn't make you weak for building with other women, having sister wives. That's beautiful. It's needed as well. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with none of it. But the thing is, it all has to tie back in to us building together with our men.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
And that's our conversation, y'all. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on this random Tuesday afternoon. So much love and support, you guys. I saw we had 717 of us in the building. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I saw somebody in the comments ask how old you were, Queen. So if you want to go ahead and say all of that, you can. You don't have to, but yeah.
No, I don't mind. Well, my vessel is 25, but you know, my soul is obviously a lot older. Just given the forms of spiritual knowledge that I have received, you know, on my journey. But just for the delay, you know what I mean? Like I'm 25. Just
Okay.
so you know.
All right, so it's a young queen, like I said, and what's so beautiful about everything now is I'm seeing more and more young queens out here that are doing away with this whole toxic mentality of being divisive, calling women that want to build with men pick-me's. I think it's beautiful. That means that in the future, Queen, when we are the grandmothers, shit gonna be in alignment. Shit gonna be how
you already know.
We're doing the work, and that's what I feel like is beautiful. So we're getting rid of that independent woman. I don't need no man shit. That's dead. That's gonna be dead by the time we're grandmothers.
Thanks.
We're gonna take it back to how it needs to be. So I thank you so much, Queen, for being on and giving us your time and energy. We really appreciate it. You dropped a lot of jewels and gems. It's probably more people out there who want to learn more about polygyny and what that entails. And so, you know, that could be beautiful. You know, it's all needed and wanted. And what I really feel is beautiful is that it all does tie back into our conversation as far as being fair and balanced and building with our men. It's needed. That's how we build community. That's how we build empires. So.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for having me on your platform once again. Problem. You know, I do remember the first time we were on here, we were having technical difficulties. Yeah. I like to call her Siri bitch. You know, she was definitely skitzing me out on my end. But nonetheless, we did have a little bit of time to kind of just even build before, you know, we went live and things of that nature. So, you know, I'm very grateful and appreciative for you just even opening a lot of, you know, the gateways or the doorways, you know, for me to even just do things like have or grow, you know, my entrepreneurship as it relates to tarot. You know what I mean? Like this is one of the things where, you know, even just as sisters, before the wives concept is even, you know, introduced, this is one of the main things that we can do with helping each other. You know, we can influence each other to grow our businesses and then, you know, come into alignment with that with each other and, you know, assist each other with growing financially and then putting that together and then building something a lot bigger than what we thought we could have ever imagined.
Right. You know, that's what it's all about. All about building and growing.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you guys, she is a dope tarot reader. And I know a lot of y'all was like, oh, that's demon. That's demonism. That's the devil. That's witchcraft. It really isn't. And what we need to do as a people, especially Black people, is learn how to take the best parts from every walk of life. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a religious person. You know, I take the best parts of everything. It's some jewels I can learn from and take from Christianity, though. It's some jewels I can learn and take from the Bible, though. But it's also some jewels you can take away from other walks of life. So don't demonize everything. You know, we got to. That's another way of us being divisive. We can always build and grow and learn from each other. I learned a lot from this young queen. You know, and me, I was skeptical too. I was like, I don't believe in no damn tarot cards. The queen was wrong. The queen was
I remember you were
her out. You know, don't We got to stop writing each other off. It's always jewels that we can learn from each other. I don't care if you're a Hebrew Israelite, a Christian, an atheist, a 5%er. I learn from everybody. I take the best parts from everybody. And that's what we all need to do instead of demonizing each other. That's another way for them to divide and conquer. No, I love you. I respect you regardless. Okay? So that's our conversation. We're going to get up off of here. Thank you guys so much. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And like Black Introvert said, always have an open mind. It's not the devil's playground. That's some other bullshit, all right? It's for us to learn and grow and evolve. But we got to go, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being in attendance. We're going to go ahead and head on out. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, buy this book, okay?
Make sure y'all get it.
Okay. We love y'all. We respect y'all. We got to go. Thank you guys so much. Peace.